Hello everyone, in this little example or in this little how-to, we will configure a basic firewall with PF or a basic rule set. I'm no expert on PF at all, but to get some simple rules going is actually quite easy to do. First of all, you can see I have a virtual machine here. This is just a FreeBSD machine, pretty stock. The only thing set up is sudo. And we have our terminal here, and let's SSH into the machine. There we go. We get the message of the day, and I just make it a little easier for me and go directly into the root user, but of course you can do all the commands with sudo as well. The first thing we're gonna do is we want to edit our rc.conf and actually enable PF. You can see down here we enabled PF, which is PF_enable yes, and important is you need to set where your rule set is defined or your config file. The destination doesn't matter, the only thing important is that path or that file needs to be accessible so PF can read it. After that is done, we can exit. Make sure PF is started. You would do it like this with service. In my case, I don't have to do that because it's already started, and we now want to go over and have a look at the actual rule set. To do that, I will use vim and I will go to pf.conf. This was the destination I've set up in rc.conf. This is a simple little example we go over now. First of all, you can see I've defined a variable called services, and the value inside is a port number 22, which is SSH or SSHD. The next line is scrub in all. Scrub is used to sanitize packages or normalize them, since it needs to reassemble or drop invalid packages, or if there are invalid flags inside of the package, it will scrub them. The next rule is pretty important, block in all. So you can see you have basically your action block. In is for incoming and all is everything. So nothing is coming into the machine or nothing can connect to our machine. That is the basic rule of block in all. So basically it's like a blacklist. You say everything that comes in gets dropped. Very important next step is the pass out all keep state, which means every package that's going out is allowed to do so, and it keeps track of state information. And our last one, which pertains to our SSHD daemon, is pass in proto TCP to port the variable services. This means basically if there is a package incoming into the system, the protocol is TCP, and to the port number, which is services, is 22 to 22 SSHD. So that means all in all, this rule set means scrub all packages that come in, block everything incoming by default, pass out or let any package out, and also pass packages that come to the SSH port 22. So after we've done set up our rule set, we're gonna save that. And to enable the rule set, we need to do pfctl-f at cpf.conf. The rules are now loaded. Another interesting thing to keep in mind, or I think it's pretty useful, is you could look at the rules currently defined. You do that with pfctl-s rules. And here you can see all the rules we've set up. And another very useful command is checking for syntax errors. You would do pfctl-vnf and give it your pf.conf, and we have no errors, so everything is alright. So we now need to test, does SSH work? Since you've seen me SSH into the machine, it must work, but just for clarification, this is the IP, and we can enter the system via SSH. Now I've set up something else. If you look at the sockstat output, we have port 80 here, Nginx, but we have not defined a rule for Nginx yet. So if we were going to use a browser and go to our IP address that we've set up, we can see a welcome to Nginx. This is because it was cached, but you can see I've now cleared the cache via Control F5 on Firefox, and you can tell nothing is happening. If we go again to that same IP, you can see it just loads, but nothing comes out of it. So what do we do actually? Since we have our pf.conf, let's get sudo going. You can see the services variable. You can specify multiple ports. For example, let's say I also want 80 in 443, which is HTTP and HTTPS. Let's save that. Let's look at our rules. Okay. We can see here. Now we actually need to reload our config, pf.conf. And if we now list the rule sets, you can see, okay, we allow incoming connections on SSH, HTTP, and the HTTPS port. So if we go over to our web browser again, and let's go to that same IP address again, and we have the Nginx welcome page. So this is basically just a very simple how-to and how to do a minimum configuration of PF. You can do a lot more with it, much more than I could teach in one little video. But keep in mind, PF on FreeBSD is not exactly the same as PF on OpenBSD. There is a great book also on PF, but it centers on the OpenBSD part. But if you want to get information about PF, I would very much recommend the manual pages. For example, here you have PF Infor, PF log, PF sync. So go over these and also consult the FreeBSD handbook. They also have a great section about PF. I will link both links down in the description box. So thank you guys for watching and have a good day.